I've often heard that the last 10% of any project takes 90% of the time, and I think this one might be the same. Money worm. The first thing that I had to do to get this thing up and ready was rework the exhaust. So originally I went ahead and kept all the Cherokee stock pieces, ran it out the back. But with that, that meant that the lowest hanging part on this entire Jeep was actually the exhaust, because the Cherokee dumps out the back and goes in between the oil pan and the transmission, and that was hanging down a few inches below everything. And that really, if you guys know and are off-road, that can't happen. I don't want the lowest thing on this to be that exhaust, get it ripped off, create more issues. So I went ahead and ordered an 04 to 06 catalytic converter that bolted up right to the manifold. That runs down now and then wraps around the front of the oil pan and then down the back. So everything's nice, tucked up out of the way, no more issues with that, and that's gonna solve my exhaust problem. Now let's go ahead and move on and show you guys the next problem I have, which is something with the steering. For those of you that have been following along, you'll know that I've redone this steering at least a handful of times. I thought the last time was going to be the final time. But what I've found out now since driving this, everything works really well driving down the road, but when I go full lock or lock either direction, the wheels start to turn back and forth, kind of wobbling a little bit, and it's not, it's like a really big input, so it's kind of like forcing it to do this. And I think what's happening is when I built these links here, there's actually a slight bend in it. If you want to watch the full video, I'll put the link up here. But really, there's just a slight bend in this, and so they're wobbling back and forth. When I originally built these, I saw that Rough Stuff had a very similar kit with a slight bend in it, and thought, okay, that's going to be easy to replicate. The one thing I missed out of that kit was actually what they call stop wobbles or something like that. That's like these polyurethane pieces that go where the boot is on the tie rod end to keep that bar from rotating too much back and forth. And so I think that's what the problem is on this. I'm gonna get this torn apart and show you what those look like, and hopefully that's gonna solve our problem. Let's get to it. There you go. So I've got the tie rod pulled out. I'll do the drag link next, but let me show you what that bend looks like in this piece. So you can see, like I said, it's just a slight bend. I think it might have ended up being about 5 degrees on each side. Just a little bit there, but that gives me enough room to clear the differential, all those things. And so now I've got it out, I'm gonna go ahead and change these little boots here. So if we look, we have these rubber boots on there. You can tell, I mean, they're gonna have lots of play in them. And same thing kind of on this side. If you look, just those rubber boots, you know, they're nice and soft. So lots of room for that to wiggle back and forth. And so what I'm gonna do is replace those. Let me show you what I got. So here you go. So this is the new piece. Can't really tell, SFR, I can't remember where I ordered these from. Rough Stuff had a similar piece, but these were a quarter of the cost, so, or half the cost. I think they were 14 bucks a piece, but they're really hard and dense compared to what these are. The stock ones are pretty soft. You can kind of see how malleable and just soft rubber those are. Whereas when we look at these, they're a lot more rigid, not gonna bend as much. So hopefully that's gonna be the solution. Let me go ahead and get the drag link painted up, and we're gonna get those replaced. So there you go, I've gotten my exhaust updated. I went ahead and fixed my steering, hopefully. I can't get the Jeep out and take it for a test trip yet, but I'll keep you guys updated if those new bushing boot, whatever you'd call it, there on the tie rod end works, solves that problem. So like I said, they're at full lock. The steering wheel is wanting to do this number back and forth quite a bit. So hopefully that's all fixed.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
I did get to go take this thing for a test drive. However, it looks like those boots that I put on the tie rod end didn't fix the issue that I'm having at full lock either way when it goes to the turn. I'll show you what this looks like. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. I have two assumptions right now that I'm working on that I'm going to start looking to see if that's the issue. One is that my alignment is still off just a little bit. Two is that I actually, these U-joints are bad in the axle shaft. And so when I'm turning it full lock, they're starting to bind up, making it want to skip and hop a little bit. But other than that, I'm not really sure what could be causing this issue. Everything looks right. Everything seems to be working pretty good. So guys, let me know, leave some comments below on some things that I can check if you've had this issue, maybe some things that you did to solve it. All right, here's the rest of the video. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually moving on. I bought some 3/8 UMHW, which is just like cutting board from what I'm told or explained. And with this, I'm gonna build some skid plates. And the first one I'm gonna be doing today is actually gonna be for the gas tank in the back. If you guys haven't watched that video, I built this whole thing from scratch to use a Jeep Cherokee fuel pump. All of that should fit pretty nicely. And so this is what I'm gonna use. It's 3/8 inch thick. I was recommended to use half, but I figured it's a full plate on the gas tank. I'm not gonna be wheeling this thing that crazy hard. And the cost of this was substantially cheaper than half inch. And I felt like an 1/8 of an inch difference in thickness hopefully won't make a big difference. Maybe this is some foreshadowing, we'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing cut out, get it molded up, put it on the gas tank. I'll show you what that process looks like, and away we go. Here it is, kind of mocked up a little bit. You can see it's just gonna fit right across the bottom. I added these tabs out to the side of the gas tank when I originally built it. And so hopefully these will bolt up. And then what I'm about to do right now is put a little notch right here. Let's see if you can see that. Right there where it's gonna bend. So then I can hopefully keep this all in one piece and bend it up to match the rear slope of this gas tank. So let's see if we can get that done and get it marked up and show you what that's gonna look like. Here's where I have it marked up. That bend is going to be about 11 3/4 inches here, and then it'll bend up the back there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take my router and route out a little bit of a groove right along that line to help it bend up in place, but still keep it one piece. Let's get that knocked out. Okay, so now you can maybe see a little bit here. I've got it bolted up there on both sides on the front. Lighting really sucks. Well, that does okay. But you can see I grooved right in there. So now what I'm gonna do is try to just bend, push this up, and get it bolted into these other two tabs on the back on each side, and hopefully the skid plate will be done. Let's get her done. So here it is. I got her all did up. Got the bolts, got 4 in the back piece, 4 in the front piece. So you can see I've got a bit of a gap here. And so what I'm hoping to do there is once I find my heat gun, I'm going to take my jack and push it up and then just heat it and hope that the plastic will hold that shape just a little bit better. But overall, I have a nice smooth bottom. Should slide over all the things that I hit. Whew. Should slide over all the things that I hit, and there you go. So pretty low profile. Departure angle shouldn't totally be awful. You know, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's gonna work. And I'm glad that I have a little bit more protection now on the back for the gas tank. Well guys, thanks for watching. We got a lot done today. I got the steering finally updated. Exhaust is completely done. Skid plates for the gas tank. And you know, there's a million other little things when we buttoning up. So stick around and thanks for watching.